Veronica Peterson is suing Tony Zamora, her daughter, for a gas bill and emotional distress. The defendant, Tony, is countersuing her mother for emotional distress. Now, I've read the papers, and according to you, your daughter, Tony, was going down the right road until she met the wrong man, but supposedly is now in a situation where she's wised up, but it appears the damage is done. Now, your mother claims that she had to call the Department of Human Services because she thought your ex had given your child a black eye. And in fact, your mother believes that you may even have covered for him. She also says, by the way, that he's hit you. And you've admitted that he's hit you.
Yes.
So why would you think that a guy who's coward enough to hit you wouldn't also hit a baby?
At that time that the incident had happened between me and the father of my children, the abuse was when he was under the use of drugs, and his choice was methamphetamines.
All right, so you blame the drugs for his abuse of you?
Somewhat, yes.
Okay. Do you also understand that, you know, maybe he's got issues besides just meth? Because not everyone on meth beats children and women?
And there are further issues other than, you know, the drug using and everything else.
Like what?
Just bipolar, depression,
Yeah, he's got
OCD.
a lot going on. How old are you, Tony?
I'm 21 now.
21. And how many kids do you have?
I have 2.
How old are the kids?
They are 1 and 2 years old, going to be 3 and 2.
1 and 2 years old. All right, Veronica, tell me about your daughter. You said she was on the right path and then met the wrong guy.
Yep, Tony was very good in school, popular. You know, Tony always said, I'm not going to end up like you. I'm not going to be a young mom. I'm going to graduate.
Were you a young mom?
Yes, right before I turned 18.
Well, you're a very young grandmother. Yeah. How old are you?
39.
39 and you're a grandmother?
Yes,
wow.
I am. I know being a young mother I struggled with it, and I've always used myself.
Was her father around?
Very abusive.
Did you watch your dad hit your mom?
Yes, I did.
How did you feel?
It's very painful just because I know what she went through. I didn't understand it when I was younger, but I definitely understand it now.
How do you think your kids feel?
I mean, it's hard for them. I can see it. It's hard.
Sure it is.
Sorry.
Why are you crying?
Just the abuse itself. It's hard for it to be, I mean, I'm ashamed of it. I really am. I did not think I would let it get to that point, so.
What are you ashamed of?
Because I stuck with him. I thought he was going to change. I believed he was going to change.
Tony, listen to me. Women always believe that he's going to change. I started the first domestic violence unit in the nation as a young prosecutor. You keep thinking things are going to get better, but the truth is the violence is going to increase in intensity and frequency as time goes on. This is nothing new. There are people who want to help women like you. There's the National Domestic Violence Hotline, all right? They have, and I keep this card here, but you're crying because you're ashamed. You shouldn't be ashamed for anything other than the fact that he's an abuser, all right? And he should be the one who should be ashamed. That's all. Tony, where is he now?
He's currently incarcerated.
He's in jail? Good. Now, what's he in jail for? Domestic violence?
Partially for that. He also, during the time that the incident with the DHS had happened, he kicked in a door where we had lived and robbed another residence, and he's serving time for that now as well.
And broke her window,
okay.
Literally.
All right. What about Department of Human Services? I read in the papers here that you call them. Why?
I did, and it was the hardest thing a grandmother could ever do. I remember, excuse me, the first time I saw my grandson, he had a black eye, Your Honor. He had it so bad, he had blood inside of his eye.
How old?
Caden was 9 months old. He had red dots from here to here, a handprint from here. The story I got was that he fell and hit his head on the stove.
Who told you that?
She did.
Did you see the handprint mark on the face that
No,
your mother's
not at the
testifying to?
No.
How long after this alleged fall did you see the baby?
I was gone, and I came back.
How long were you gone?
Approximately 45 minutes to an hour.
And you come back 45 minutes later, and what's on his face?
It was just really red, just like from here to up. It was
And
just
what do you
red.
say to the father?
I was like, well, what happened?
What
And
did he say?
He's like, before I left, I was boiling water for pasta, and so he turned it off. and he said that when he went to go move the pot back, it burnt his hand, and Caden was in his left hand, and that Caden, when he jerked from the thing, that Caden flipped down and he hit the bottom of the stove.
So did you believe him?
I did and I didn't.
But he had already hit you.
At this time, yes, there was domestic abuse.
Did you take him to the hospital?
No.
I just treated it as, you know, he fell, I'm going to watch him.
Well, what's with the blood in the eye?
That didn't come until the next day.
Was there a bump on his face?
No, nothing. It was just really
Not
bad.
even a cut.
You know why there wasn't a bump on his face? Because he didn't hit anything. The reason the whole thing was beat red because he hit him with his hand.
And that, you know, when she told me she called DHS, I was like, if you feel like that's what it is, because I didn't see it the next day.
When did
I was
you
at
first
work.
hear about this?
That night.
You called DHS the next day?
The very next day.
And what do you say to them?
I said, you got to promise me they will not go into foster care. I want them.
So you reported but said you wanted custody?
I wanted custody. I did not want my grandkids in foster.
Woman.
Oh, I love them. I will die for them.
You're a good woman.
In a heartbeat.
What did DHS do?
They gave me custody of my grandkids.
So they took them away from her?
They did not take him away from me.
Who did they take him away from?
They removed him from the home, and I was to stay with my mom.
They removed him from the home.
That's not fair.
Because you wouldn't throw him out. That's what's going on here. Had you thrown him out, your kids would have stayed in the home with you. You made the call. They took those kids away from you because you chose him over your kids.
Next on Judge Pirro.
He slit his throat before. Why is this guy not in an institution?
I don't know.
We've tried. We've tried.
Get him the hell out of your life. All right? Someone is going to die.
And later.
I says, what happened? Oh, we all had sex with him. There was 5 guys up in the apartment. So I said, you know what? I said,
That's a lie.
I told him, I don't care what you do. If you have sex with her, you need to protect yourself.
Well, this isn't about safe sex. This is about your wife sleeping with 5 guys.
Judge Jeanine Pirro.
I've been a prosecutor, a judge, and a DA for 30 years.
As a DA, she had a 100% conviction rate.
When you don't do anything, the message is it's okay to mess with me.
She's an advocate,
I started one of the first domestic violence units in the nation.
a mentor,
The most important thing that you can learn here tonight is that you must believe in yourself.
a judge.
Where do you get off making a decision a child should not see the father?
Justice with conviction. Judge Jeanine Pirro.
The first time I saw my grandson, he had a black eye, Your Honor. He had it so bad. He had blood inside of his eye.
How old?
Caden was 9 months old.
Plaintiff Veronica Peterson is suing her daughter, Tony Zamora, for a gas bill and emotional distress. Veronica insists that Tony and her child are victims of domestic violence, both at the hands of Tony's ex-boyfriend.
How long did you have the kids?
A month.
Was he charged with anything?
Child abuse. They found him guilty.
Pretty obvious then, huh?
Yes, very obvious.
All right, you got the records? Let me see those records.
The records of...
DHS?
No, I do not have the DHS records.
Do you have them?
I do.
Yeah, let me see them. How sad. How sad. Thank you. Tony, he broke into your apartment.
Yes.
That was this year.
Does he threaten to kill himself?
He threatens to kill himself, everybody, anybody.
What are you going to do, Tony? This is bigger than the lawsuit in front of me. What are you going to do?
I mean, I am doing something now.
What are you doing?
I left him. I'm not with him no more.
Do you love this guy?
She does.
I do, but I can't be with him. I don't want my kids like him. I don't want to be in that situation.
You are in danger. You've got a guy who's threatening to kill himself, threatening to kill other people, is capable of slapping a 9-month-old baby to the point where blood wells up in the whites of his eyes.
Before, Your Honor.
He slit his throat before. Why is this guy not in an institution?
I don't know.
We've tried. We've tried.
Get him the hell out of your life. All right? Someone is going to die. Someone is going to die, Tony. Look at me.
You.
I know this.
So do I, Your Honor.
You're young. You're beautiful. You're capable of loving. Okay. Your mother is suing you for what? The gas bill that was supposed to be in your name?
Yes.
It wasn't her name.
Now, you were suing her for emotional distress. Tell me why.
It was just not waking up with my kids every morning, them not
So
waking
go live
up
with
as
your
well.
mother.
I tried. I had just got a job. Just got a new job. She didn't have transportation.
You can live at a house and work, too. A lot of people
I
do
had
it.
transportation set up to go to work. in town. My aunt would not
You know
drive
what,
all the way
Tony?
to the plane.
Tony, look, you should be ashamed of yourself. How dare you sue your mother for $1,500 for emotional distress when this woman is there for you, when she should be living her own life? She shouldn't have to be calling DHS on you. Do you think it was easy for your mother to call DHS on you? No. And for you to have the unmitigated gall to sue her for $1,500 just blows my mind, and I don't feel badly for you anymore. So that's it. Dismissed. No counterclaim. Now, you get the $2,400 for the gas bill. I went through the file. The money is owed. I'm going to give you $1,000 for the emotional distress. Yeah, not so much because it's as horrific as it might be. I want you to take that money and I want you to put it aside for those babies. So my verdict for you is $3,481. Now, if you don't do what you need to do, someone will die. I don't want it to be you, but I certainly don't want it to be one of those kids. Do you have an order of protection or restraining order?
Not at the time.
Why not?
She dropped it.
Of course she dropped it.
It was dropped
You
at the
get your
time.
tail into court again, and if he's contacted you in any way, shape, or form, that is a basis for you to get an order. If he threatens you or anyone in your family, you get an order to cover the family. The guy is a danger, and you're the one who's at risk. Verdict for the plaintiff. So ordered.